In the heart of the African savannah, there lived a playful young elephant named Ella. Ella loved her life in the wild, surrounded by her large elephant family. Every day was filled with fun, splashing in the water holes, munching on delicious grass, and playing with her friends. But more than anything, Ella loved exploring new places. Her curious trunk would twitch whenever she spotted something new in the distance. One morning, as the sun rose high over the savannah, Ella was wandering near the edge of her herd. She saw something she had never noticed before, a shimmering river far in the distance. Excited, she ran back to her mother, who was busy eating from a tall acacia tree. "Mom, can I go see the river?" Ella asked, her eyes twinkling with excitement. Her mother smiled, but shook her head gently. "Ella, it's too far away, and it's important to stay close to the herd. We travel together to stay safe." Ella's the elephant excitement dimmed. She didn't understand why she couldn't explore on her own. After all, she was big and strong. Well, at least she felt big and strong. But Ella's curiosity couldn't be contained. Later that day, when the herd was resting under the shade of a giant baobab tree, Ella saw her chance. Without anyone noticing, she quietly slipped away, heading toward the distant river. As she walked, Ella marveled at the beauty around her. Tall grasses brushed against her sides, and colorful birds flew overhead. The further she went, the more confident she felt. "See? I can explore just fine by myself," she thought. But as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the savannah, Ella started to feel uneasy. The familiar sounds of her family were nowhere to be heard. The gentle trumpeting of her mother, the chatter of her cousins, it was all gone. Instead, the rustling of the wind through the tall grass seemed much louder, and strange animal calls echoed in the distance. Suddenly, a loud growl came from behind a nearby bush. Ella the elephant froze. Her heart pounded as she realized she wasn't alone. Out from the shadows emerged a sleek and spotted leopard, its golden eyes fixed on her. Ella's legs shook with fear. She had heard stories of leopards from her family. While they were usually shy, they were also fast and clever hunters. The leopard took a step closer, and Ella knew she had to do something. Fast. She raised her trunk and let out the loudest trumpet she could. The sound echoed across the plains, surprising the leopard, who stopped in its tracks. Ella took a deep breath and stomped her large feet, trying to make herself appear even bigger than she was. "Go away," she trumpeted again. The leopard, startled by her bravery, hesitated for a moment before slinking back into the tall grass. Ella the elephant sighed in relief, but her heart was still racing. That was close, she thought. But now, the shadows were growing longer, and the sky was turning dark. She realized she didn't know how to get back to her family. As she stood there, feeling more lost than ever, a soft voice called out, "Are you okay?" Ella looked around and saw a small meerkat peeking out from a nearby burrow. His name was Max, and he was known for being quick and clever. I'm lost," Ella admitted, her voice trembling. "I left my family to explore, and now I don't know how to get back." Max's eyes widened with concern, but he smiled kindly. "Don't worry, Ella. I'll help you find your way home. I know the savannah like the back of my paw." Together, Max and Ella the elephant began their journey back to her family. Along the way, they passed by a group of tall giraffes who were nibbling on the leaves of an acacia tree. One of the giraffes, named Grace, leaned down and said, "Ella, I saw your herd moving toward the big water hole. You're not too far from them." Ella's heart lifted with hope. "Thank you, Grace," she called as they continued on their way. As they walked, Ella realized something important. She had been so eager to explore on her own, but now she understood the value of staying close to those who cared about her. The savannah was a big and beautiful place, but it was also full of dangers. Just as they reached a hill, Max stopped and pointed ahead. "Look, Ella, there's your herd." Ella's eyes filled with tears of joy when she saw her family gathered near the water hole. She trumpeted loudly, and in an instant her mother came running toward her. "Ella," her mother cried, wrapping her trunk around her. "I was so worried. Where have you been?" Ella the elephant nuzzled against her mother. "I'm sorry, Mom. I wanted to explore the river, but I got lost. Max helped me find my way back." Ella's mother sighed with relief and smiled down at Max. "Thank you, little one. You're a true friend." Max grinned and waved his tiny paw. "Anytime. You elephants are like giants to us, but you're always so kind." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Ella lay down beside her mother, feeling safe and warm. She looked up at the moon and thought about her adventure. She had been brave when she needed to be, but she had also learned that being with family and friends made everything better. "I'll never wander off alone again," Ella the elephant whispered to her mother. "I know now how important it is to stay close to the ones I love." Her mother smiled and gave her a gentle nudge. "I'm glad you've learned that, Ella. You're growing up to be a wise and brave elephant. But remember, it's okay to explore as long as we do it together." Ella smiled, feeling proud and loved. She closed her eyes and dreamed of new adventures, but this time, she knew she'd always have her family by her side.